Hi, I'm Samuel from the Victor Scout Group in Brisbane. 9 months ago, I put in an application to the Leadership Through Adventure Fund from the Dick and Pip Smith Foundation via Scouts Australia. My dream is to put our whole Scout group on top of Australia's highest mountain before heading off trail into the Snowy Mountains wilderness. As Queensland Scouts, we don't often get to experience the Alpine environment, and so together with my leader, Jungle Jim, we started working. 9 months later, the dream became reality. Our trip planning was centered around 3 adventurous journeys. We learned all about the Alpine environment, we got trained in Alpine skills, and we equipped ourselves appropriately. All up, we had 6 activity plans with risk assessments and contingencies for each, amounting to over 300 pages of planning paperwork for approvals. We formed a special unit council to get through the work. We had scouts and leaders from 4 different scout groups come on our trip, and we all had a fantastic time. One of the highlights was meeting the traditional owners of the land, Ngarigo people, who welcomed us to country and fed us when we arrived at Jindabyne late.
Pretrip was a massive undertaking. We ended up forming a unit council with youth, leaders and members from other groups. We did a lot of our meetings online. Our physical preparations included hill climbs, weight packs and endurance hikes. We needed to build up our bodies.
How was that, Samuel?
Expedition and individual journey briefings were essential. We had Alpine, emergency communication, and food preparation skill sessions. Next, it was time to take it on the road. For our trip, we used our dense trailer, a 26-seat hire bus, and 4-wheel drive support vehicles. Our first day was a long one, and we had to set off well before 7 AM. It took us 2 days to get to Jindabyne, stopping over in Dubbo. We arrived later than we planned at Jindabyne. Arriving at the Snowy Scout Alpine Centre, we were welcomed like old friends by the Ngarigo Snow people, the traditional owners of the land. They welcomed us to country and fed us as well. It was an amazing feast of emu omelette, possum, crocodile, and kangaroo. Afterwards, Uncle Mark showed us how to prepare the animals for cooking, including roast possum. At our base camp, it was time for some serious eating, prepping our trail food, and of course getting our hair done. There was time for some last minute supplies, first aid briefings, and sorting out our on-trail equipment one last time. We were ready to put Victor Scouts on top of Australia, or so we thought. The next day brought us high winds, and so in an emergency meeting of the 3 patrol leaders and some adults on trail, we decided to wait out the bad weather for a day. The new day brought clear skies and beautiful weather, if a little chilly, and we all set off for the summit from Charles Pass, taking in some emergency huts and alpine scenery along the way. We made it, and here it was time for the 3 patrols to go their separate ways. Sentinel Patrol. This was to be my peak bagging adventure, taking as many of the peaks of the Snow Mountains as possible in 3 days. Unfortunately, the weather had other ideas, and for reasons of safety, we had to skip a few of them. But boy did we get the full experience of remote area camping majestic views, and plenty of steep hills. But by the end of the second day, our respect for the mountains grew, as it threw all kinds of weather at us. Up above 2,000 metres, there is nothing between us and extreme wind gusts and driving rain. It was here that we were grateful for the thorough equipment checks and all of our preparation and training. Tarn Patrol. Tarn Patrol took in a few peaks before descending through the Blue Lake region and below the tree line to the Snow River, following it out to Guthaga. With beautiful clear skies, they were treated to magical vistas of Blue Lake and nearby tarns. Reaching the Snowy River, the weather turned rough, and when they picked up a food drop from the support bus, they may have lingered inside a bit longer. Tarn Patrol were made up of mixed scouts and adventurers from Victor, Sunnybank, and Albany Creek. What a great way to make new friends by walking in high wind and rain together.
Morning, Scouts. How's it doing?
Not good.
Not good.
I hate this so much. My front wheel exploded on my pack.
Nice. Have a good day. See you later.
Well done, Tarn Patrol. Brumby Patrol explored the lower reaches of the Snow River through the Gungahlin Plains area. Because of our younger and lighter members, they needed a support vehicle. This was to keep under their weight requirements by bringing in some heavy items. Matthew had a very full patrol with 6 scout members from Victor, Sunnybank, and Brisbane South Chinese. Brumby Patrol took in a few historic huts and went exploring in the plains area to see if they could find any of the famed wild horses of the Snowy Mountains. Owing to some logistical challenges, they started at 4 AM on their final day, hiking out in the rain and dark to finish their adventure. Well done, Brumby Patrol. All too soon, our adventure in the Snowy Mountains was over, and it was time to say goodbye. On the way home, we stopped for a few nights in Dubbo, meeting up with the Dubbo Scouts and going to the world-famous Western Plains Zoo. The zoo is a walking experience, which by now we were no strangers to. Where you can get up close and personal with many, many animals. A big thank you to everyone who made this expedition a success, our leaders, patrol leaders, and all the scouts who came.
Start with something that worked well.
Bringing the right clothes. Sleeping bags.
Sleeping bags?
Everyone learnt so much from this expedition. I guess when it first started, we were thinking mostly about the adventure. But putting all of it together, we really learned a lot about leadership, both of ourselves and our patrols, and large group planning. I'm in the adventure section, so I found my training in Joeys, Cubs, and Scouts to be a really good base of skills. But leading a large expedition into an Alpine area was a whole new experience. No longer responsible for just a patrol. There were 18 other youth members, and 10 adults on trail and at Basecamp to consider. It's not an easy thing to plan a trip 1,000 kilometers away. We did it. The structure of scouting and what seemed like endless paperwork and training activities really prepared us well. And before we knew it, 30 of us were setting foot onto the bus to begin the journey south. Our journeys into the snowy wilderness saw us having to cope with 70km/h winds, sub-zero temperatures, and driving rain, with only each other to rely on. It was here that all of our physical and skill-based training really came into effect. Not everything went to plan, but we adapted, used our risk contingencies, and made sure everyone made it back home safe. Thank you to the Dick and Pip Smith Foundation and Scouts Australia for making this a reality.